In July of 1960, over 800 young men from every state in the Union and several foreign countries traveled to a great institution, a school that has given our nation great leaders like Dwight Eisenhower, Douglas MacArthur, and John Pershing. To get to this school, these young men converged on a place about 50 miles north of New York City and just over 15 miles from an unnamed tavern, a place called West Point. A few candidates immediately recognized that this was not the rock-bound Highland home they expected. They ran away with the look of terror in their eyes, but most would pass the initial test and become new cadets. The survivors would enter the first phase of a 4-year program that has evolved over the span of years starting in 1802. 565 would graduate and join the Long Gray Line. The goal of the program is to create excellent military officers and, in retirement, exceptional web blog writers for the USMA 1964 class website. The first goal has been achieved by the class of 1964. Success in the second one is questionable. As soon as they walk through the Sally Port and into Central area, candidates enter a dark abyss called Beast Barracks. Beast Barracks is designed to put all new cadets on a level playing field. This is not an easy task. Some cadets have military experience and know how to do basic things like shine shoes and march. Others had maids to shine their shoes and pick up their rooms for them. These maids were often called Mom. These sons of vice presidents and laborers, doctors and lawyers, rich men and poor men, undergo an extreme makeover process. The first thing that a great equalizing process does is to strip the new cadets of clothing and other earthly possessions that they brought with them. They are shorn like sheep, a common practice inflicted on military recruits all around the world. They are issued a common set of uniforms and other equipment. Next, the great equalizer process tests the new cadets' inner strengths by imposing a relentless process of multitasking, tasking with ridiculous time pressures. Some find it easy to handle the chaos. Others, even now, some 45 years later, report of reoccurring nightmares of being braced up against the wall by angry upperclassmen. Hello, post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. At least 2 of our classmates received a boost up prior to entering Beast Barracks. The first approach was risky. The second, a sure thing. The first case involved a letter. Upon acceptance to West Point, each candidate was required to pay a $300 entrance fee. The USMA treasurer received a check from the father of our classmate, Jack Grubbs, with a letter attached. The letter includes the following request. Please ask the upperclassman to satisfy his every whim and to see to it that he is given the tender care and compassion that he so justly deserves. The letter ends with, at all costs, don't send him back to us in the same condition we sent him to you. Sincerely, S.D. Grubbs, class of 33. Our classmate Jack survived the letter and graduated. He retired as a general officer. George Jakunski had a less risky boost. He was born at West Point and had 2 tours there. As a result, he was acquainted with the Academy brass and rubbed elbows with many of them prior to becoming a cadet. He had several conduits for smuggled food from high-level sources, including his uncle, Colonel West, who was head of the law department. He would meet the colonel now and then down in the tunnel back at the mess hall. George's challenge was to walk the narrow line of pretending to know just enough plebe poop to keep him out of trouble. However, most of the 800 candidates had little knowledge of what to expect when they went through the sally port and into the central area. It's as if they'd taken a reverse trip from the land of Oz, leaving behind the world of colorful shirts and bell-bottoms and long hair, and entering the black and white world of beach barracks, where the only color of importance led you to report to the man in the red sash. After a period of drop that bag, pick up that bag, drop that bag, the candidate was introduced to the principal instrument of torture, bracing. This is a tutorial on bracing. Call it Bracing 101. The new cadet will stand at attention. Without lowering his chin and with eyes straight ahead, he will pull his chin back as far as it will go. The new cadet assumes the position of bracing anytime he's in the presence of an upperclassman. When the new cadet screws up, the bracing becomes even more intense. Each new cadet is required to memorize various items of trivia called plebe poop. He is tested on these items daily. For example, this is what it may sound like at a breakfast formation, with the Hellcats playing in the background and plebes being pressed by upperclassmen for their knowledge of plebe poop.
4th class, what do plebes rank?
Sergeant, the superintendent's dog, the commandant's cat, the waiters in the mess hall, the Hellcats, the generals in the Air Force, and all the admirals in the whole damn Navy!
How many names are there on Battle Monument?
Sir, there are 2,230 names on Battle Monument.
How many days until Army Navy?
Sir, there are 101 and a butt days until Army beats the hell out of Navy in football.
What's for lunch?
For lunch we are having Reuben sandwiches, beet navy bean soup, ice cream sandwiches, and punch.
How's the cow?
Sir, she walks, she talks, she's full of chalk. The lacteal fluid extracted from the male of the
What did you just say? Start over. Just you. Go.
Sir, she walks, she talks, she's full of chalk.